Hello. Welcome to the first episode of Little Bobbins Knits. My name's Danny, and I thought I'd start a podcast. Well, actually, about 2 months ago, I thought I'd start a podcast, so I recorded an episode, and I just couldn't bring myself to put it out there, so it still remains in my computer. It just embarrasses me a little bit every time I see it on my desktop. But I thought I'd try again. So I've been psyching myself out about it for the last 10 minutes, half an hour, but I thought, right, do it. So, I'm Little Bobbins on Ravelry and Instagram. This is actually Little Bobbins though, my little chihuahua. And I suppose I should start with how I started knitting. So I think I was about 15 and thought I might fancy giving knitting a try. My mum knits, so she said that she'd teach me. And we went to the local knitting shop, which didn't really have a huge selection of lovely things. And I picked out this black, I don't even know what it was made of, but it was some sort of fluffy but not furry, just this bobbly, weird stuff. Against my mum's advice, I bought about 10 balls of that, and I thought I'll knit a scarf. This scarf, it ended up not even finished, but a sort of triangular holy mess. It wasn't good, so that put me right off. I think I knit again in about 3 years' time. I suddenly had another urge, and Mum and I found this lovely knitting shop that was local to us. It's sadly not there anymore, and it had lovely yarns and such lovely people, and my knitting just took off from there really. I think my first project was a dog coat from the Stitch and Bitch handbook. I think it was called the Howl dog coat, and I made that for my now very elderly dog who's sleeping over there. And that was a really good project actually, because it had knitting, it had picking up stitches for the legs and the cowl sort of neck, and knitting in the round and on DPNs. So it was and sewing up actually. Great project. And so I would knit little things like that, or I think I knit a bag at some point. But this knitting shop was great because it had classes there as well. I did a sock class with Lucy Neatby, which was just amazing. It was a little shop, but they got really experienced and talented teachers there. So that was a lot of fun. And we had knit nights there, surrounded by wool. There is nothing better. So it was a great place to sort of get my passion for knitting. Like I said, it's not there anymore, sadly, but it hasn't been replaced. I don't know if it ever could be replaced. It was just great. But there are a couple of other shops locally that sell nice yarns. So now I don't go a day without knitting, and I love watching knitting podcasts, and that's why I thought, why not start one? I'm still a bit nervous about it, but we'll see how it goes. This might just join the first episode as another little embarrassment tab on my desktop because I was too much of a wuss to put it out there. We'll see. It's very possible. So before I get too rambly, let's talk about my whips. My first one are some socks. I love knitting socks. They're one of my favourite things to knit, I think, because they're so portable, and if you want to make it really complicated and do lots of patterning and intricate stuff, then you can. But if you want it to be really simple and something you can knit in the cinema, then it can be that for you as well. So they're really portable. So this is my first sock, and I doubt you'll be able to tell, but there is gold and sparkles in this yarn. It's so lovely, and it's so bright, and not really colours I usually go for because I'm more of a muted kind of colours person, but it's got sort of teals and plums and golds. And I'm knitting the Hermione's Everyday Socks by Erica Luda, which is a lovely pattern, although I do find the first sort of couple of repeats of this 4-row repeat pattern, I'm always thinking, no, this isn't right, this doesn't look right, I'm not going to do this, I'm just going to do some plain socks, I'll rip it back. But then if you keep going, it looks nice in every yarn. I don't think I've seen any horrible ones. I don't know if you can see the texture. So I really love those. And that's Sarah's Texture Crafts yarn. sarahstexturecrafts.com, and it's her sparkle sock in the Harlequin colourway. And it's superwash merino, nylon and gold stellina. It's really lovely. And for some reason I decided to hand wind my balls because, oh, they're so pretty when they're hand wound, but I think it took me about 3 hours. That's like a lot of knitting time that I could have had, but so that's one of my whips. There are many more apart from the ones I'm going to show you, just so you know. I am a multi-whip person, but these are the ones that I'm sort of actively working on at the moment. This is my Whispering Pines shawl by a Homespun House. Lovely Molly, who also has a Homespun House podcast, which is a wonderful one. And this is a lovely pattern. It's got this textured body part, and then it goes out into a triangular shawl with a lacy border around the bottom, and it's so pretty. It's just my ideal shawl. It's pretty but not fussy. It's just a nice simple piece that you can wear in all sorts of situations. So that's really nice, and I'm knitting that out of this Old Maiden Aunt yarn in the colourway Greige, which this is my sort of colours. Oh, it's so lovely. And it's just a superwash merino fingering weight. And I'm knitting it on my Chogu interchangeables, which I really, really like. They're 4mm. And it's just a lovely pattern. At the moment it's very simple and it's just going along, adding in the textures, and then I'll get the bit of interest at the end with the lace, which is fun. I forgot to say, if you're interested, my socks are on higher DPNs, which I think are my favourite DPNs because they're really light and really sharp and just very, very pleasant to knit with. They sort of warm up in your hand, but they don't have any drag like bamboo needles would. So my last whip that I'm currently working on is a long-term one. It's in here. It's my sock scraps blanket, and in here I've got all of my like mini skeins and leftover yarns. I did a very naughty thing, and I went through all of my full balls of sock yarn and stole mini skeins. Very, very bad. But they're so nice, and I have a constant struggle with this project because I kind of want it done because I want it on me. I want to enjoy just having it and snuggling in it. But at the same time, I want as many socks as possible to be in this blanket, so I'd like it to take a long time. I guess that was kind of my motivation behind stealing from my big balls. So it's quite big, and there are lots of ends dangling because I haven't sewn them in yet. I'm doing, I don't know if you can see at all, but I'm doing a sort of cross pattern where I've started with this square and knit that. I'm not going to be able to explain it with pointing because the directions of the camera are freaking me out, but there's a cross in the middle, so they all go off at different directions, like 4, kind of like the hue shift blanket, I think, hue shift Afghan, but I'm doing it all in one, not seaming it. I'm just changing the direction of the cross. That possibly made no sense at all, but hopefully it did. So yeah, that's the other whip that I'm working on, and probably will be for quite a while. I finished some things recently, so I finished these. They're actually still a bit damp, but they're just top-down socks, eye of partridge heel. So they're just top-down socks with an eye of partridge heel, and they're lovely. This is Knitting Goddess yarn. Got the tag here. 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon in the Fired Earth colourway. I think it's my first time trying Knitting Goddess yarn, and it's so nice. I really love it. I love how the colours have come out. There's not really any pooling, not that I'm averse to it, but they've come out really quite evenly. And the yarn's so soft and lovely, just really nice. And my stitches, I don't know what it is about the yarn, but my stitches have come out really, really neat, which pleases me a lot. So I'm really happy with those. They're actually for my mum. I knit lots of socks for my mum because she's lovely and really appreciates anything that I knit for her. So over the summer I've been knitting her some socks that I thought I'd package up and give to her for when the weather started getting cold. So I think I've got about 4 pairs now, and it's starting to get cold, so I'm going to pack them up and give them to her. I actually made something else to put on that little package. A little heart out of my hand spun, and I've filled it with lavender and polyfill stuff, so it smells really good. I thought I'd attach that to the little package of socks, or autumn warmers package. So that's another FO, that's a Susan Claudino pattern. It's in the Gnome is where the heart is pattern, just an extra bit in that, and it makes such a lovely heart, and it's very quick to do, so I can see more of these in my future. It's a really nice quick pattern. Another FO, I love him, he's so cute. This is Winston the Walrus. I'm kind of completely in love with him. He's so adorable. This is a pattern by Little Woolens. Oh, and he's so cute. Yeah, I love him. I knit him yesterday in a sort of fit of, oh, I need to knit a walrus. You get those days too, don't you? And then I sort of put him away because I had other things that I really should have been doing. So yeah, I've only just got him out again to have a look. He's so sweet. I knit him out of just scraps of yarn. I'd quite like to knit another one out of nicer yarns. But he was just out of some acrylic wool blend that I had in my stash. This is Cascade 220. His black face and eyes are hand spun leftovers. And this is some Rowan. It's a single ply. I think it's called Creative Focus Worsted, but I'm not sure. But he's very cute. So yeah, and I think I'm going to give him away as a Christmas present because he's very sweet, and I think would make a perfect gift for a little one. So they're my finished objects. So on to new things. I was lucky enough to win a prize in the Pebble Beach knit along, run by the pattern designer Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, and it came, and it's really lovely. It's this Kettle Yarn Company in the Islington base. It's in the Blighty colourway, and this is just my colours. I love greys or neutrals, so this is just perfect. I can't wait to think of what to knit with it. It's 55% British superwash Blueface Leicester and 45% silk. So it's got a lovely sheen to it, and I love Blueface Leicester. It's one of my favourite fibres. So yeah, that's very exciting. And then I put in an order with the Wool Barn on Etsy the other day, and it arrived, and it's so lovely. It's my first time buying from the Wool Barn. It's gorgeous. It came in this little bag, just so cute. And I bought a skein of self-striping. I love these colours. How gorgeous is that? Really love this. And this is superwash wool and nylon, 400 metres. It's just beautiful. It's got sort of lovely creams and greys and pistachio and sort of Wedgwood blue. It's going to make some fantastic socks for me. Very excited about those. I also ordered this, which is a superwash merino, and it is gorgeous, sort of taupes and dusky rose, salmony pink sort of colour. It's lovelier than the photograph of it on Etsy. It's just so beautiful. And I got this to knit my mum a Knit Your Love shawl by Martina Baim, and it's so lovely. It's the one with the hearts. I was going to knit it her for Christmas, but I've fallen in love with it. I don't know if I can. It might have to be mine. It's just so lovely. So it's undecided. I'm going to try and knit it for my mum because that is what it was for, but it's so lovely that I just want to keep it. We'll see. So yes, they're my new additions. So that's it. I think I've sped through this at top speed just out of fear, like roller coaster fear. Not that it shouldn't be scary, should it? But I don't know, I'm very shy, really, and it is a bit scary, even though I don't have to post this. This could just be me talking at my computer and then put in the trash bin, but I'd really like to start a podcast just because I love the community that it fosters and I love watching them so much, and I don't think you can have too many, really. And it's nice to have a variety of different ones so that you can pick and choose which ones you enjoy the most. And so I hope that I stop being scared for long enough to actually post this, but we'll see. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed or found it interesting-ish. Hopefully they'll get better from here when it doesn't seem like such a bizarre thing to be doing. But yeah, so if you want to get in touch with me, I'm Little Bobbins on Ravelry and Little Bobbins on Instagram. And maybe I'll see you again. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.